Ittoki, a timid virgin loser, just so happens to be the heir to a legendary ninja clan. He's got zero skills, zero confidence, and zero luck with girls. To make matters worse, he's stuck with a bodyguard ninja girl who's all about guarding him not to get laid. For now, the only way for the loser virgin Ittoki to survive the harsh ninja world is to become a ninja himself. Ittoki's just your average, lonely virgin high schooler with a jam-packed schedule and a tendency to attract unusual situations. Between his endless clubs and his friends dragging him to karaoke, he's got zero time to himself. He has this mysterious masked girl, Kosetsu, tailing him everywhere because of his overprotective mom keeping him on track. One day, on his way home, Ittoki's showing off some slick parkour skills like around the town when suddenly, Truck-kun tries to flatten him. Thankfully, he dodges it like a ninja doing a casual backflip. His uncle Tokusada shows up to give him a lift home. The next day at school, he finds a love letter in his locker, and bam, instant heart flutter moment. Turns out the mysterious admirer is a girl named Tsubasa. She saw him dodge that van and seems pretty into him, enough to want a date. Despite a serious don't trust strangers warning from his mom, Ittoki's too excited to listen and sets a date with Tsubasa. On the big day, he shows up super nervous but ready to impress. When he gets there, though, Tsubasa casually suggests they go back to her place. Bold move, right? The virgin loser, waiting to be late of course, isn't going to say no, so off they go. At her house, the vibe's awkward as heck until Tsubasa suddenly stands up, walks away a bit, and, drops all her clothes. Ittoki's jaw hits the floor. She's coming at him like she means business, ready to get laid, and just when things are about to go sideways, he shoves her back, getting a scratch on her cheek. And then, surprise, they're suddenly surrounded by a bunch of shady people in black, cosplaying as a ninja with Tsubasa leading the pack of. What kind of date is this? Thankfully, Kosetsu crashes through the balcony, of course in ninja style, and rescues him just in time. She manages to help Ittoki escape while she deals with the other ninja cosplayer. Ittoki gets picked up by two more allies, and Kaizo. But of course, they get attacked too. He has to bail again, sprinting through empty streets with these shady goons hot on his heels. Things are looking grim until his uncle Tokusada appears, armed with mysterious powers, and manages to save the day. Ittoki eventually wakes up outside his family's old house, where he learns from Tokusada and Kosetsu that there's more going on than he realized. It's only thanks to his makeshift ninja bodyguard squad that he's still alive and breathing. After finding out he's actually part of the Iga clan and destined to be a ninja, Ittoki, being a virgin loser, is absolutely not into it. But his uncle Tokusada, knowing he's in denial, takes him for a little heart-to-heart. Tokusada tells Ittoki that, he can technically walk away, but his mom sacrificed so much for the clan, especially since his dad, the former leader, passed away. She's been carrying the weight ever since, and that finally hits home for Ittoki. So he agrees to give this whole ninja thing a try. The next day, he's told he'll be transferring to Kokuten Ninjutsu Academy. But first, there's an entrance exam. Since Ittoki barely knows the difference between a kunai and a spatula, he's not exactly thrilled. But Kokuten is supposed to be super safe, so at least he's not worried about his life. On exam day, Tokusada and Kosetsu take him to this random shopping complex where Ittoki has to ask for a ninja meal. Turns out it's a code phrase, and he and Kosetsu get whisked away to a hidden hallway where the other applicants are already waiting. The exam, a giant game of ninja hide and seek, where you're either a hider or a seeker. The seekers have 10 minutes to tag a hider. Kosetsu, being Kosetsu, is a total pro and tracks down her hider in no time. Then it's Ittoki's turn. And guess who he's supposed to find? None other than Satomi Tsubaki, the girl who tried to kill him. Just as he's processing that nightmare, assassins start creeping around the service area, clearly hoping to turn him into a ninja pancake. Tokusada is keeping an eye on things, but the stakes are high. And Kosetsu spots an assassin aiming right at Ittoki. She steps in, only to realize it's Satomi herself. Satomi dashes into the service area with one goal: eliminate Ittoki, but our guy's quick on his feet. He pulls the fire alarm to clear the building and sets off a smoke screen with the fire extinguisher. He even activates the sprinklers, which gives him a perfect view of Satomi's movements despite her ninja camo. And yep, Satomi gets busted and arrested right there. Ittoki, however, didn't get to tag her, so he figures he failed and heads back to his uncle's car. Imagine his shock when he finds out he actually passed and got accepted into Kokuten. Turns out the headmaster saw his creativity, bravery, and heart. Ittoki may not have the ninja skills down yet, but he's got the spirit, and apparently, that's what matters most. After getting accepted into Kokuten Ninja Academy, Ittoki, a virgin loser, says his goodbyes to his old friends, promising to stay in touch, even though he knows his new life as a ninja in training is probably going to make that tough. When his first day at Kokuten finally arrives, he's nervous. Tokusada drops him off at the station, and Ittoki, along with his ever-watchful companion Kosetsu, boards the train to school. At Kokuten, Ittoki quickly meets a friendly face named Ryoko, who's just as new as he is. Kosetsu couldn't care less about making friends, but Ittoki is definitely relieved to have someone to talk to. Later, he meets another student, Kirei, who's surprised to learn he's from the Iga clan and gives him a heads up. Steer clear of the Koga elite if he wants to survive the semester. Kirei invites him to the cafeteria, where she points out how the Koga elite get fancier food than everyone else, which seems totally fair. While she's explaining the Koga's reputation, Ittoki gets caught staring at them a little too long, and one of them, Suzaku, decides to make it his business. Suzaku lectures the ugly virgin about the importance of controlling his emotions, and then adds a not-so-subtle threat. He's coming for the Iga clan because he thinks they were involved in the murder of the Koga chief, Kishinmaru. This is news to Ittoki, and he can't help but worry if there's any truth to it. Later, Kosetsu gives him a pep talk, reminding him to focus on his training instead of stressing like a lonely loser over things he can't control. The hunt for the Koga chief's murderer is still on, and things are tense. The only clue they have is the wounds on Kishinmaru's body screams Iga Ninja Blade, unmistakably. So, naturally, the head, Hayato, decides that Tokisada Kaga, a living legend with enough stealth and mystique to fill an entire ninja library, needs to be put under surveillance. And who better to keep tabs on this master of evasion than a total rookie, Shione Kuzuki, who can barely get to the meeting on time. Shione's off to an epically bad start, trying to follow Tokisada only to be repeatedly, hilariously outsmarted by him. Meanwhile, Ittoki got his own Mission Impossible at the Kokuten Ninja Academy, the upcoming ninja tool test. He's been buried in textbooks, trying to cram in every scrap of ninja knowledge he can find. But his friends drop a plot twist on him. They're not exactly memorizing chapter summaries. Nope. The real test is a good, old-fashioned heist, stealing the test papers right out of the teacher's room. Night falls, and Ittoki and his squad spring into action, ninja style, staking out every corner of the academy. They're all dressed in stealth suits, sneaking around like they own the place. Ittoki's group leads a mini-drone into the teacher's room to find the key to her locker. But, naturally, the drone crashes straight into the door. Total stealth fail. The noise nearly blows their cover as the teacher comes running to check. Luckily, Ittoki and crew manage to duck out of sight. First obstacle down, and they're still in the game. Kirei whips out a smoke bomb, a standard school supply in the ninja world. It fills the hallway with smoke, creating just enough chaos for the team to sneak back into the room for one last attempt at getting the papers. But the teacher's even savvier than they thought. She took the locker key with her. And if that's not enough, the Koga elite show up, ready to knock them out and ruin their plans. The Koga kids don't hold back, even going after one of Ittoki's friends. Luckily, Kosetsu shows up to handle the Koga gang like it's her full-time job, freeing Ittoki to figure out how to open the locker. Just when it seems like they're out of luck, Ryoko pulls out a Saika brand lock-breaking tool. Ittoki had no other option, so he and Ryoko went to town in the locker, grabbed the question papers, and finally escaped. Fast forward to the day of the test. Ittoki's team opens up their hard-won papers, and plot twist. The questions are completely different. Every single one of them fails miserably, except for Ryoko, who's a ninja tool prodigy from the Saika village. Later, Kosetsu has a private chat with Ittoki, hinting that there's a mole in their crew. Only someone on the inside could have tipped off the Koga elite to pull a stunt like switching out the papers. The Koga elite, meanwhile, are having the time of their lives, gloating about how Ittoki's crew fell for their trap like total amateurs, an epic heist gone wrong, a botched exam, and a major trust crisis. At the Kokuten Ninja Academy, Miss Mitsuhashi is back with some terrifying news. The end-of-term practical exam is coming up, and it's the kind of test that's been known to send students straight to the hospital. Meanwhile, Kosetsu's getting a bad feeling, suspecting the Koga clan might be plotting some sneaky move. And in a separate corner of Ninja Central, Hayato and Shone are still scratching their heads, trying to figure out why anyone would want to knock off the peace-loving Koga chief Kishinmaru. On the other hand, has juicier gossip. The new Koga leader is eyeing Suzaku as his successor. So Suzaku's got this future-secured ego thing going, while Ittoki decides to keep a safe distance from his group for the exam. Can you blame him? He doesn't want any extra help if it means another chance of getting tripped up. When his classmate Suzunone tries to hook him up with a ninja tool that could give him a boost, Ittoki plays it cool and says, no thanks. He's basically on survival mode. Suzaku, though, is on a full-blown revenge. He gathers his Koga buddies and makes it clear he's out to take Ittoki down to avenge Kishinmaru's death. Kosetsu and Ittoki, meanwhile, keep training away, blissfully unaware of the chaos waiting to hit. When exam day finally arrives, the rules are simple. Steal someone else's ninja core, and you pass. Lose yours and you're out. Oh, and no ninja tools, no serious injuries, and no murders, which for this group is apparently a difficult ask. But the Koga ninjas are drooling, practically counting down the seconds to jump Ittoki. They follow a map straight to the 5th hot hell, only to find it's a setup. Ittoki and Kusetsu left a fake map out just to lure out the traitor, who panics when caught and admits he's only helping the Koga because they blackmailed him. So, Ittoki decides he will impersonate the traitor and snag a ninja core off a Koga ninja. How hard could it be? Well, turns out, pretty hard, because the one who shows up is none other than Suzaku himself. Meanwhile, Kusetsu realizes Suzaku's got a decoy running the operation, and things get so wild that the Koga ninjas start using explosives just to keep her busy. Poor Ittoki is doing his best just to stay alive, but Suzaku's a top-tier ninja with the subtlety of a wrecking ball, and he's got Ittoki in his sights, ready for revenge. Ittoki is not backing down, though. He's throwing out an anti-violence speech mid-fight, hoping Suzaku might reconsider the whole kill everyone philosophy. Suzaku's refuses, and motivated to get revenge. Somehow, Ittoki pulls off a miracle, breaking Suzaku's ninja core right before he collapses. Next thing he knows, he's waking up in the hospital with his friends hovering over him. And just when things couldn't get weirder, it turns out that Kurei, his sweet, unsuspecting friend, was actually the traitor the whole time. She's been feeding intel to the Koga clan, putting Ittoki's life on the line at every turn. Shino rushes into Hayato Goshogawara's office at NSC headquarters, wide-eyed and ready to drop a bombshell. She's just seen something absolutely insane. The Koga ninjas are using the body of their old boss, Kishinmaru, for some creepy science project straight out of a horror movie. She's practically begging Hayato to shift their focus off the Aegis and onto the real villains here. But does Hayato take her seriously? Nope. He practically brushes her off and tells her to keep it quiet. Just another day in the office. Meanwhile, in IGA Village, Kirei and Ryuko are getting cozy with Ittoki's mom, Yumika. The three of them bond over summer vacation with the usual shopping and fishing. And it's all chill until Yumika decides it's time for some life lessons with Ittoki. She gives him the real story behind his dad's death on a mission gone wrong, hinting at the tough choices ninjas sometimes have to make. It's a heavy moment, but also a glimpse into the sacrifices she and his dad made. Ninja life isn't exactly a walk in the park, but while all this family bonding is going down, Kurei's secretly sending intel back to Suzaku. In fact, she's got eyes on the entire village. During one evening of village festivities, Ittoki hears an epic story about his mom's past bravery. Apparently, after a leader named Ittoki Sakuraba was killed, things got messy fast. There was so much political drama. The whole village was teetering on the edge of chaos, and who swooped in to save the day? None other than Yumika. Flashback to the night Sakuraba died, and Tokisada, Iga's resident hothead, was all fired up. He saw the killers with his own eyes, and was ready for a vengeance spree. But Kuzo-san, the village elder, was determined to keep things diplomatic. He's out there trying to keep everyone calm, insisting they avoid war at all costs. But Tokisada, he's not having it. He's ready to throw down right there. As tensions rise, Yumika just sits there watching, waiting for the perfect moment to drop some wisdom. And when Tokisada finally crosses the line, Yumika straight up slaps some sense into him, grabbing his knife with her bare hands. She tells everyone in the room to remember her husband's legacy of peace and unity instead of tearing each other apart. Her speech was so powerful that it not only stopped the brawl, but also earned her the respect of the whole village. Soon after, she was chosen as the new village leader, proving that sometimes a slap and a few hard truths can do more than a whole lot of fighting. As summer break comes to a close, Ittoki and his pals are all set to head back to the Ninja Academy, ready to dive back into their rigorous training. But then, out of nowhere, they get hit with the shocking news. The Academy is shutting down for a bit. Apparently, the NSC is throwing a Ninja Grand Council meeting that's going to shape the future of the entire ninja world for decades. Yumika, Ittoki's mom, gives him a classic parental reminder. Don't forget to hit the books. When the heads of the various ninja villages gather for the council, the air is thick enough to cut with a kunai. But wait, where are the Saiga clan members? Oh, surprise. They've decided to cozy up under the Koga clan's umbrella, because who wouldn't want to hang out with the ninjas known for their shady business practices? Goshogawara, ever the astute observer, points out that the Koga clan is totally breaking the ninja ordinance like it's a bad habit. He drops the bomb that several Saiga members have mysteriously vanished, as if that's not enough drama for one day. It turns out that students are dropping out of the Ninja Academy at an alarming rate. Goshogawara, being the no-nonsense guy he is, gives the village heads a chance to speak up about any Koga misdeed. Initially, everyone's a bit shy, kind of like when you have to speak up in class. But once Yumika lays down some serious evidence of the Koga clan's aggressiveness, suddenly everyone finds their voice. They all start airing their grievances, and before you know it, Koga Chief Kidu gets slapped in handcuffs right there in front of everyone. But just when it looks like they might get a breather, Genji announces that there's solid video proof showing the Iga clan was behind Kishinmaru's death. And just like that, Yumika gets arrested too. After the Ninja Grand Council drama wraps up, Ittoki receives a message from his mom, telling him to keep an eye on the Iga clan while she's away. Panic starts to ripple through the village. Without Yumika, everyone feels lost and vulnerable. So, what does Ittoki do? He makes a bold move. With a crowd of well-wishers gathered at his house, he stands up, channels his inner ninja leader, and declares that since the chief is out of commission, it's time to select a new leader. And guess who steps up? Yep, Ittoki. The 19th legitimate successor of the Iga lineage raises his hand, puffing out his chest with pride, and announces he wants to be the new chief until his mom returns. The crowd erupts in cheers, loving the courage of their young master. They're ready to throw their support behind him. So just like that, Ittoki is officially the new IGA chief. Who knew being a ninja could come with such a big promotion? Meanwhile, as Yumika and Kidu are carted off to their cells, waiting for whatever ninja justice is coming their way, Gashogawara is still scratching his head over the video evidence. Something just doesn't sit right with him. So, he decides to take a closer look, but before he can unravel the mystery, he gets a rude surprise. Someone stabs him from behind. Turns out, it's Genji, who's been playing both sides this whole time and is secretly on Team Koga. Genji is all fired up and starts blaming Gashogawara for being an Iga fanboy. But Gashogawara, despite looking like he just went a few rounds with a rabid bear, isn't backing down. He insists that the video evidence they showed earlier is as dodgy as a ninja in a poorly lit alley. There's definitely something fishy going on there, and he's determined to uncover it. Genji, clearly not loving the pushback, rolls his eyes and decides there's no point in having a sensible conversation with Gashogawara anymore. The scene fades to black, and the implication is clear. Genji's not going to be playing any nice games here. Meanwhile, Yumika, sitting in her cell, contemplates about the meaning of life when Genji swings by to drop a bombshell. She's been sentenced to death. Gashogawara has been missing in action for a solid 72 hours, and Genji Karajishi decides to take the reins like he's auditioning for a villain role. He gathers everyone at NSCHQ and announces he's the new boss in town, and Kidu Minobe gets a free pass with no charges while Yumika's been finger-pointed as guilty and is on death row. As if that wasn't enough drama for one day, the second division is scrambling to track down Gashogawara, while Shining Kuzuki, who just got a shiny new promotion to captain of the first division, is side-eyeing the whole situation like it's a sketchy street vendor. She's got this gut feeling that something stinks worse than last week's sushi. Meanwhile, back at Koga Village, Kidu Minobe is basking in his newfound authority like a cat in a sunbeam when Suzaku sidles up, all hyped up and whispering sweet nothings about invading IGA. He's all into seizing the opportunity vibe, totally ignoring Housen, thinking that they should think this through instead. Housen's trying to channel his inner peacekeeper, playing the role of the cautious elder, but Suzaku is too busy flexing his bravado and waving his sword around to hear reason. He is reluctant to listen to anything and fears that backing down now will be cowardly, so he ignores everything Housen has to say. Things heat up when the Koga clan finally decides to crash the Iga party. Ittoki gets the news and realizes it's time to throw on his big boy pants because the meeting room he just transformed into a command center is about to see some serious action. They start fortifying the village with more walls than a fortress, launching rockets at the invading buses like it's a ninja demolition derby. But there's a twist. Shige, being the ultimate kamikaze hero, decides to blow himself up in a grand gesture, taking out a chunk of the Koga forces but also letting them waltz right through their first line of defense. Now it's like a ninja-themed game of whack-a-mole, and no one wants to be the mole. Now, while all that chaos is happening, Kaosetsu and Tokisada are sneaking into the NSC headquarters like they're on a top-secret mission, disguised as a couple. Adorable, right? They pull off a classic ninja move to put the guard to sleep faster than you can say sushi roll. They slice and dice their way through guards, but just as they're about to rescue Yumika, they find themselves in a showdown with Genji and his band of goons waiting at the exit, like the ultimate ninja party crashers. The Koga clan has busted right through the first line of Iga defenses, with each Koga ninja backed by a squad of robo ninjas. It's clear from the get-go, the Iga forces are outnumbered 10-1, and it's not looking great for the home team, especially since their top fighters, Kaosetsu and Tokisada, are out on another mission. Meanwhile, back at the NSC headquarters, Kaosetsu and Tokisada have made it inside and are ready to rescue Yumika, but they're blocked by Genji himself, who insists they surrender. Tokisada's reaction? No way. He tells Kaosetsu to hightail it out of there with Yumika while he handles Genji's goons solo. Tokisada goes full ninja warrior, slicing through his enemies like it's another day at the dojo. Genji thinks Shione, who shows up just in time to see the brawl, will back him up, but twist of the century. Shione is actually here to arrest him, having cracked the case of Gashogawara's murder and pinned it squarely on him. Back in the Iga Village's command center, the leaders have just discovered that the Robo Ninjas need regular recharging, and they figure out 5 possible places where the Koga might have set up their charging points. Naturally, young Ittoki, never one to back down, heads out with Ryuko to track down and destroy one of these stations. Just as they're about to throw a grenade and shut it down, they get ambushed. Out of nowhere, a mysterious figure dressed like an Asura appears and plants the explosives for them. And, surprise, it's Kirei, trying to make amends for some of the, let's say, questionable choices she made that helped this invasion get underway. She's ready to risk it all to protect the village this time. Meanwhile, Kosetsu and Yumika are on their way back to the village, but they're met with a suspiciously thick fog hanging over everything. Tokisada warns them it's likely a Koga trick, but Yumika, true to form, is more worried about her son and her people than herself. She insists on going straight to the villa, where she learns from Mitsuzu that Ittoki has been stepping up as acting chief and has done a bang-up job leading the defense. Just when things seem like they might calm down a bit, Kosetsu suddenly clutches her head in pain. Her eyes flash red, and she turns into a completely different person. Out of nowhere, she pulls a knife on Yumika, demanding the ninja core and backing her into a corner. Yumika, calm as ever even in the face of danger, refuses to see Kosetsu as anything but the young girl she once rescued. Even when Kosetsu slashes her across the face, Yumika doesn't flinch and instead hugs her, hoping to break whatever spell she's under. But Kosetsu isn't herself. Genji, it turns out, has been controlling her from his jail cell, using some dark ninja technique. And just as Yumika reaches out, Kosetsu, fighting against the mind control but unable to resist, ends up stabbing Yumika. By the time Ittoki rushes in, he finds his mother lying motionless in a pool of blood, while Kosetsu, horrified by what she's done, stands in shock. So, after Ittoki loses his mom, he barely has a moment to breathe before he's hit with the news that Kosetsu is now locked up by Tokisada. Still processing all the madness, Ittoki is officially named the new chief of the Iga clan. And it's not like the Koga are waiting around. They're already prepping their next attack on IGA. Meanwhile, Suzaku, still entangled in Koga's web, is warned to lay low since his life might also be on the line. Over on the NSC front, Shione Kuzuki drops a bombshell on Tokisada. Goshogawara's killers are alive and kicking in custody. But there's a new temporary head, Jizen, taking over the NSC. To make things juicier, Shione hands Genji Kurajishi's own incriminating register, showing he's got ties with the Koga village. But Shawnee's left scratching her head, trying to figure out what connection Kosetsu has with the Koga. Because let's be honest, things are looking messier by the minute. As the dust settles a bit, Ryuko lets Ittoki know that her dad is in the hospital, so she's heading home, and Kirei decides she's out too. Later, Tokisada takes Ittoki to pay a visit to Kosetsu, who's under watch because of her self-destructive behavior after the incident. When they talk, she explains all she remembers from that horrible day is a strange ringing in her head, like a bell, and then seeing Yumika, Ittoki's mom, lying there. Then Tokisada drops a bombshell of his own. Kosetsu is actually Kidu's secret daughter from an affair. Turns out, like a bunch of other Koga kids, she was sent out as a sleeper agent. Even worse, Koga implanted a chip in her head so they could control her actions. Ittoki's mind is blown, left struggling to make sense of it all. Later that night, he prays in front of his mom's photo, feeling the weight of everything on his shoulders. But things get even weirder when Suzaku suddenly shows up. With zero tact, he asks Ittoki, what's it like losing a parent? Which, understandably, sparks an all-out scuffle between them. Afterwards, Suzaku heads back to his apartment. Looking all torn up, he finds a photo of him and his dad and, on impulse, opens the frame. Inside, a hidden memory card he's never seen. Curiosity piqued, he loads it up, and then he's watching Kishinmaru's final moments caught on camera. Turns out, Kishinmaru and Kidu had been on two totally different paths. Kishinmaru was all about keeping the ninja legacy alive, while Kidu dreamed of wiping them out and ruling the world himself, flanked by his robo-ninja army of Asuras. When Kishinmaru refused to back down, Kidu decided to resolve things the Koga way, ending him right there. Watching this, Suzaku's whole world shatters. Everything he thought he knew, lies. The IGA didn't kill Kishinmaru. Kidu, his own mentor, did. In the middle of Ittoki's grieving, Kidu sends a smug letter demanding the secret ninja core and ordering Iga villagers to pack up and hand everything over to Koga. The villagers are already angry and devastated over Yumika's death, and Kidu's audacity just adds fuel to the fire. The people want action. But Ittoki doesn't make a move right away, and his hesitation doesn't sit well with everyone, who are thinking he might lead them right into another Koga ambush. But unknown to them, Ittoki is stealing himself, ready to make some big game-changing moves. It's clear he's not about to give in without one heck of a fight. And with everything at stake, things are about to get seriously intense. That's the end of the recap. Let us know if you want part 2 by leaving a comment in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to avoid being virgin forever. See you guys in the next video.